typically I don't buy any clothing really unless it's hand-me-downs or it makes sense. But with your product line, I was compelled to purchase it because I was using the utility functions of the XRPL to its fullest.
When I tried XRP and saw the speed of it and the affordability of it, then from there I was just hooked.
This distributed ledger technology is beyond that.
Mm.
It's software, protocols, basically technology-enabled solutions.
The owners of those NFTs get access to the limited drops first before the remaining supply becomes available to the public. So it's just like a rewards program, like with any other spot that you go to the store and you start accumulating rewards, then you get benefits for that. If you guys want to check out the merch, I got some in the trunk, so I'll pop the trunk.
Pop that trunk, Willie, come on. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, who I have with me here today is Willie Villanueva, the co-founder of Whitelist. Whitelist.me to be exact, or that's where you can find them online. Willie, thanks for joining us. You as well are traveling some distance to come here as well. You're coming from Northern California.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Yep. Let's talk about Whitelist, sir. Before we do, if you mind sharing with the audience who you are and why Whitelist is so fortunate to have you at the helm.
Yeah, my name is Willie Villanueva. I am a creative director of Whitelist, which is a clothing brand, a Web3 based clothing brand that we're building. I say we're, but I'm the team.
I'm with you, man. In spirit, we're all here with you.
But it's I've been designing clothing for about 10 years, and I got heavily involved into the crypto space. And so I decided to rebrand my old brand into more Web3 based brand, which is now Whitelist.
Formerly known as Junks, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and, a proud wearer of a Junks sweatshirt. Kelly, I believe you have the same matching sweatshirt, which I thought was great. And hey, I don't just buy, typically I don't buy any clothing really unless it's hand-me-downs or it makes sense. But with your product line, I was compelled to purchase it because I was using the utility functions of the XRPL to its fullest, and it's exciting to hear that you're building on the XRPL. What brings you to the XRPL, and why is it so important for Whitelist?
The XRPL specifically, it was something that when I first got into the crypto industry, it was one that caught my eye specifically because when I started buying crypto and all that, I started with Bitcoin, and then when I tried XRP and saw the speed of it and the affordability of it, then from there I was just hooked and just during that time I just followed up with the token or with the coin. But as the years progressed and developers progressed on the network, that's when NFTs started to not necessarily start getting built, but the talk of NFTs was starting to come during that time. And this is when we were starting to create NFT projects. Were first issuing an IOU token as we waited for the network to catch up.
Now, when you say token, are we really talking about tokens, Willie?
Yeah, we're talking about, yeah, like tokens. So it's like I created a Junks token. It was an IOU token. So every token was then exchanged for an NFT back then, which are the membership NFTs that we have now for Whitelist.
For someone I'm going to ask this question again, and the reason why. Let me paint you a picture before I actually ask this question. When I was in Portugal for my former employer, Link2, there was a gentleman speaking on stage next to Greg Kidd, another a decorated VC, former government official. This gentleman's name was Matthew Lemurl, and he was really trying to articulate the fact that we're not really always talking about tokens per se. That this distributed ledger technology is beyond that. It's software, protocols, basically technology-enabled solutions. Do you agree with that, or is it? Why do you think we're dressing these new software solutions and payment rails as tokens? I know this wasn't planned or anything. I'm just curious because you've been saying tokens. I'd love to maybe double click on that.
I'm curious because I think so. The ones that we were issuing, I see those as because it's a medium of exchange, right? So I see them as a token, like a coupon, right? Or yeah, it's I see it as a token, right? Like the token that you get at the car wash, right? If you put in your coins and they issue you your tokens. So I do see it as that because you can only, or at least the ones that I issue specifically, those tokens at the time were only able to be used as an exchange for the NFT, but others use it in a completely different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you referencing the car wash. I was wondering why your car was so clean outside.
Oh,
Now I know why. You've been using all those tokens.
right.
Excellent. How do you envision the integration of blockchain tech transforming the fashion industry? Understanding that whitelist, that's your domain.
Yeah, specifically with the fashion industry, you have a lot of like it's a big collectible industry similar to just collectibles in general, right? Like trading cards, and you have right now specifically you have like sneakers that are huge,
Mm.
and you got people that have their storage units full of just their sneaker collection, and people that collect handbags and shoes and clothing in general, right? So for me, being in the clothing industry or being in like the fashion industry, I decided to this is what I know, and I can see a collectible aspect being attached to the clothing if there's scarcity attached to it.
Great segue into the user experience of these NFTs. Me being a consumer of your products and not just getting a really great, wonderful sweatshirt like we're wearing today, but I also got this NFT that's rotating and it's got a digital representation of my sweatshirt that I purchased. Can we talk about the user experience and why you chose to make a digital NFT the way you did?
Yeah, so the NFT specifically, so what I'm doing is I'm treating that as like a certificate of authenticity for the clothing. But the way that I made it was, I mean, I made the NFT look like a trading card. So like on one side, the back of the card, and it explains the details of the garment that you're getting, and then the collection and all of that. So it says first edition, this is going to be a brown hoodie. And then when the card spins around, then you see like a 3D, you see the 3D version of the hoodie that well, like that I'm wearing now.
Yeah.
And so that I treat that as like a digital certificate of authenticity, and which is just like a fun way of to just hold it on your phone and look at it just like that. And which for me, the mindset that I was in when I was creating these in the past was to eventually have this NFT be like a digital wearable
Mhm.
in like the metaverse. Eventually, like the holders of these can put this on their avatar in the
I was going to
metaverse.
ask, I mean, is there any type of utility or opportunities that's an owner of one of these of your NFTs could potentially use it in a digital realm, and
Mhm.
or could the ownership provide you access to an environment or a token gated page, a restricted environment only available to those that are holding your limited edition brown sweatshirts versus those that got maybe the socks or
Right.
something. I don't know.
So what I do, because now that right now that you touched on that, so what I do is there is like a token gated aspect attached to the brand, but it's not necessarily with the digital portion of the NFT, or like the certificate of authenticity NFT, but with the membership NFTs that I initially created with the IOU tokens. So with those, there's just over 3,400 membership NFTs, and the owners of those NFTs get access to the limited drops first before the remaining supply becomes available to the public. So when I first launch the clothing, which I usually do, as of right now, what I usually do is like about 25 garments. And of those 25 garments, those 3,400 holders, or the holders of those 3,400 NFTs, they get access to purchase that garment before the remaining supply becomes available to the public.
That's a wonderful reward for
Hmm.
those that are part of your community, engaging and owning your NFTs.
Hmm.
Do you foresee any other benefits down the line or things that maybe others aren't thinking about yet, but you from a rewards or utility standpoint?
Yeah. So what I did recently, earlier this year, was the IOU token that I had initially created. So the remaining supply, I had burned it back when we launched the NFT, and then what I did was I then reissued a new supply of that token, and that is a rewards token for people that purchase the digitals. Every digital purchase, like if you purchase it through the NFT, then you get that reward token, which that can be traded back for, or after you accumulate a certain amount of that reward token, you can trade that back in for merchandise.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it's just like a rewards program, like with any other spot that you go to the store and you start accumulating rewards, then you get benefits for that.
Do you see a future where a third party or another brand could leverage the solutions that you're building or ecosystem that you're building for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. As long as they there's a lot of things to learn, right? Like for me, there's so much that I needed to learn when jumping into the crypto space, but it can absolutely be like used by other brands and things like that.
What brand do you aspire to partner with? For those that may be listening in the audience.
I like Nike, but they're like the pioneers in this space, and I would love to do a Nike collab because they're already getting involved in the Web3 space. Like they're started like launching NFTs and things like that, and I would like to do a collab with them just to learn. Like I want to learn from them, and
Great brand to partner with.
yeah,
Or empire.
yeah.
For those in the audience who would may be interested in learning more about Whitelist and following you as a contributor and creator in the space, how can they do so?
Yeah, I'm on my socials. So if you go if you're on Instagram, you can follow my Instagram, which is whitelist.me. That's WHTLST.me. My website is the same thing, whitelist.me. And then my personal Instagram is Willie _ at the end. And then if you're on X, my X is whitelist _ me. And then my personal is _JMKZ.
Awesome. Actually, before I let you go, any final comments, thoughts, Willie?
If you guys want to check out the merch, I got some in the trunk, so I'll pop the trunk.
Pop that trunk, Willie. Come on. All righty. We're gonna bring on the next panel here in 5-10 minutes. Why don't you, Willie, while we're waiting, gives you some time to get some of those wonderful threads, and we'll start trying them on right now. Ooh, Willie.
The merch that we were talking about, this is how it comes packaged. What you see on the box, these are the membership NFTs. So what I did when I was first designing the box, I had members send me their favorite NFTs, and then so I put them on the box on the packaging. This is as you see it. This was during the Junkies time. So I already designed a new box and with this branding on it. And maybe 2025, towards the end of 2025, we'll see that packaging. But this one right here, this is the fall collection that I just dropped. We actually did. I hosted a fashion show to launch this collection. But what you see here is you'll see a sticker on the side because every box comes sealed. On the side, you'll see a QR code. If you scan that, it'll take you over to the NFT that's connected to the garment.
Can we bring up the male model here? Esco?
What a coincidence!
Look at this.
Esco just got a garment.
Slim fit. Makes you look studly.
This is a large. How does it feel? Because good material. One thing I care about, I'm glad that you have this over, because one thing I care about with the garment is like with long sleeve shirts, I care about a really good quality cuff right here. I don't want it to I don't want it to stretch on you. So and then same thing with the collar. Like the collar's just like nice and flush on the neck. So that was like something that was very important to me. Like you can pull the sleeves up, they won't like stretch, and then you can pull them back down, and it'll like still stay nice and tight. So that was like one thing that was important to me. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wonderful. I love that.
So on the box here, you'll see it's the label, right? So it tells you like what's inside. So here you'll see mocha brown hoodie, and then you'll see a little image of the hoodie. You're like just a little mock-up of the hoodie, and the size of it. This is mainly for me, like when I'm selling them. Like I know what I'm selling you, but it's also for you guys. And then a QR code that'll take you to the digital certificate of authenticity.
Is any of this information tucked into the metadata of the NFTs as well?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So what you'll see on when you see on the card and on the metadata, you'll see this information on there. So you'll see first edition, fall collection, 2024, mocha brown hoodie. On some of the NFTs, you'll see a size attached to them. On the newer ones, on these, I did not attach a size to them.
They're universal.
Yeah. It's to make it a little like just to make the process easier on when it comes to distributing the NFT. But they are numbered. So this one is 1 of 23. So if you look at the NFT here, you'll see mocha brown hoodie number 1, mocha brown hoodie number 2. So if you scan this one's number 2. So if you scan this, you'll see mocha brown hoodie number 2 on the NFT. Every box is tamper proof. So I really cared about the collectible aspect of the garment. So it's sealed with a sticker that you have to basically cut to get in there. You have to cut it here as well. And then you have a tamper-proof tab that you have to pull open to get into the box. So it's just like that collectible aspect of the garment.
This box is almost as secure as the XRPL.
Yeah, I think it's more secure. But inside the box, you have it's a little bit more. There's more inside, right? You have every garment comes wrapped in tissue paper that's branded, and some stickers in there and some goodies in there for you as well.
I am a proud owner of, as mentioned, of a Junks sweatshirt. I still have the box. This is probably the only box I've ever kept of any product. Unlike my wife, who has in her garage, we have the box of the blender of everything. And but regardless, so I look at not just as the piece of clothing as art, but even the packaging as well.
Yeah.
Wonderful work, Willie, and I wish you nothing but success on your journey in this investment landscape, as also as an entrepreneur.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.